Long ago, in a distant land surrounded by snowy mountains and frozen lakes, there stood a kingdom called Valerith. Many years before, Valerith had been a vibrant land of golden fields, flowing rivers, and warm sunlight. Farmers grew tall crops, flowers covered the valleys, and the people lived in happiness. But everything changed the night the winter curse began. One dark evening, the sky turned grey, and a powerful storm swept across the kingdom. Snow began to fall and did not stop for many days. Rivers slowly froze. Trees lost their leaves and became coated in thick ice. The warm sun disappeared behind endless clouds. From that day forward, winter never ended. People whispered that a powerful spirit known as the Spirit of Winter had awakened deep within the northern mountains and had cursed the land with eternal frost. Years passed, and the kingdom slowly adapted to its frozen life. Villagers built thicker homes, fires burned day and night, and people wrapped themselves in heavy furs just to survive the cold. During this difficult time, the king and queen welcomed a child into the world, Princess Lyra. But Lyra was not an ordinary princess. The night she was born, a strange glow filled the royal chamber. A small flame appeared above the baby's cradle, burning gently like a star. Instead of fear, the flame brought warmth. As Lyra grew older, it became clear that she possessed a rare and powerful gift. She could control fire. Small sparks danced in her hands when she laughed. Warm light glowed around her whenever she felt strong emotions. In the coldest winter nights, the princess could warm entire rooms simply by standing nearby. At first, the king and queen were amazed by her gift, but the people of the kingdom were not so certain. Some whispered that her power was dangerous. Others feared that fire might bring destruction instead of warmth. Because of this fear, Lyra was asked to keep her abilities hidden. The princess grew up quietly within the palace walls. She spent her days reading ancient books, walking through frozen gardens, and watching snow fall endlessly beyond the castle gates. Sometimes she secretly practiced controlling her flames deep within the palace courtyard where no one could see. Yet she often wondered why she had been given such a strange gift in a land covered entirely in ice. Years passed, and the winter curse grew stronger. The storms became more violent. Snow covered entire villages, and even the royal palace began to freeze beneath thick layers of ice. Crops stopped growing completely, and the kingdom slowly began to weaken. One night, while exploring the royal library, Lyra discovered a forgotten ancient legend hidden inside a dusty book. The legend told of a magical balance between two powerful forces, fire and winter. Long ago, when the Spirit of Winter first appeared, the land had been protected by a guardian of flame. But the guardian disappeared centuries ago, leaving the kingdom vulnerable to the curse. As Lyra read the final lines of the story, she realized something important. Perhaps she was meant to become that guardian. Determined to save her kingdom, Princess Lyra made a brave decision. She would travel to the northern frozen mountains, the place where the winter curse had first begun. There, she would confront the Spirit of Winter itself. Wrapped in heavy cloaks and carrying only a small lantern, Lyra secretly left the palace at dawn. Her journey was long and dangerous. She crossed icy forests where wolves howled beneath the moon. She walked across frozen rivers that cracked beneath her feet. Snowstorms tried to push her back again and again. But every time the cold grew unbearable, Lyra called upon her inner flame. Warm fire glowed in her hands, lighting her path through the darkness. After many days of travel, she finally reached the highest mountain where the storm clouds gathered endlessly. At the summit stood a towering ice palace, shimmering like crystal beneath the grey sky. Inside the frozen palace waited the Spirit of Winter, an ancient being made of swirling snow, wind, and ice. When Lyra entered the palace, the spirit rose like a storm around her. "Why have you come, child of flame?" The spirit's voice echoed through the frozen halls. Though frightened, Lyra stood tall. "I came to end the curse. she said bravely. The spirit of winter laughed like cracking ice. Winter cannot be defeated, it said. Cold is stronger than any flame. But Lyra remembered the legend, the balance between fire and winter. Instead of attacking with anger, the princess closed her eyes and focused on the warmth inside her heart. The warmth that cared for her kingdom and its people. A soft golden flame began to grow around her. Not a violent fire, but a gentle, radiant warmth. Slowly, the ice around the palace walls began to melt. The storm winds weakened. For the first time in many years, sunlight began to shine through the clouds. The spirit of winter slowly faded as the warmth of Lyra's flame restored the balance between cold and heat. The curse was finally broken. When Princess Lyra returned to the kingdom of Valerith, the snow slowly melted. Rivers flowed again, trees grew new leaves, and flowers began to bloom across the valleys. The people who once feared her now celebrated her courage. They finally understood that the princess's power had never been dangerous. It had been the kingdom's greatest hope. And from that day forward, the legend of the Fire Princess who saved the frozen kingdom was told throughout the land. A reminder that the gifts we fear most may one day become the strength that changes the world.